إن الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and His countless blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our Terawih, all our fast, all our ibadah during the month of Ramadan and other than the month of Ramadan. Our Imam recited some of the verses from the second juz, starting from the second juz, and the views are quite diverse in what I'm reciting right now. Starting from Sayapul Sufaha a great concept is mentioned over there. Before I just reflect on some of the verses which we have recited right now. Every nation, every community has a concept, inherent concept of unification. Unification means that people want to unite. But the question here arises, what should be the basic point of unification that binds people together? When we study the initial past or the recent past, we find out different communities, civilizations, that have been different points of unification. They try to unify the people upon certain concepts. For example, we have the people who try to unify the people in the name of color. And even that this apartheid is still we can say, vibrant concept that divides the people by and large. And then ethnocentrism is also there, that people of specific culture feel that their cultures are superior to our cultures. Like we have Eurocentrism, white supremacy. And they think that these people of specific culture, they are, and then they want to unify those people who are within that particular landscape. Then there are the people who try to unify in the name of caste. Like we have, if you study the Hindu society, there are those 1.4 billion people. And then they want to unify the people in the name of caste, but not possible because all diverse. So different communities try to unify the people upon different concepts. But when we see that these concepts are all which are beyond the capability of the human, he will reach out. For example, when a child is born, he is not born with a given option that with what color he wants to be born with. So it's a natural selection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some are born with a white color, some with a black color, some with a red, some with brown. So color is not our choice. It's a choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if people try to just unify people on something which is beyond the human capability, so you cannot unify it. Likewise, race, like presently we can see Israel, they feel that if we study the Old Testament, they classify mankind into two parts, into two groups. One is Jews and others are Gentiles. Non-Jews are known as Gentiles. So they claim to be the superior race in the world. So we are all special people. According to Jews, they are all special people. And then the unification is within that particular community. So can it bind all humanity together? Not possible. Likewise, Islam also gives a concept of unification. But it gives us about two concepts. One is the theoretical framework of unification and then a practical framework of unification. Theoretical framework of unification is which applies to all races, all communities, all people speaking different languages, living in different parts of the world. And that is a concept of oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we are all bound with this concept. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. So you need to hold fast to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and don't be dispersed. So this is a theoretical framework which binds people of different castes, different colors, different native ethnicities, speaking different diverse languages, unifies them all together. From east to the west, from north to the south. From North America to South America. From Europe to Africa to Asia. So people belonging to different parts of the world are unified under one single theme, that is oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it also required a practical, physical point of unification. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided this practical symbol and practical physical symbol of unification in the form of Qibla. Qibla simply means a direction. Direction, when we are supposed to perform ibadah, we have to face towards the Kaaba, towards the Qibla. As we know that before it was Baitul Maqdis. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a great desire that the Qibla be changed to Baitul Haram, from Baitul Maqdis to Baitul Haram. And this happened, and these are the verses in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the whole spectrum, the whole context, that what happened at the time of change of the Qibla. And Allah clearly mentions that our intention of change of Qibla was to see مِمَّن يَتَّبِعُ الرَّسُولَ, who follows the Prophet, peace be upon him. So my dear brothers and sisters, so the first part of these verses teaches us the concept of unification and the concept of Tawheed. That is a theoretical framework, and practical, physical, symbolic framework is Kaaba. That people from different parts of the world, I can see here, directly Qibla. So we face towards the Kaaba. People from all over the world face towards the Kaaba. This is a sign of unification. And then in Islam, there are two types of ibadah. One which are individual in nature. For example, fasting. It is individualistic in nature. Everybody is required to wake up early in the morning, take the suhoor from dawn to dusk. One has to stay away from certain things. So it is individualistic in nature. Dhikrullah ta'ala, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are walking, you are driving, wherever you are. Heart is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is properly individualistic in nature. So this is one form of ibadah. Then there are also second form of ibadah, which is collective in nature. For example, performing salah in congregation is a collective concept of ibadah. And at the global level, Hajj is a practical manifestation of this collective form of ibadah. And when you go to Hajj, what you find out there, the people from different parts of the world, wearing different colors, speaking different languages of different sizes, shapes, and different forms. They are there and circumambulating, going around the Kaaba. Oh, I remember last time, Malcolm X, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mercy upon him, he mentioned after he embraced Islam, he said, I could see the proper concept of unification when I performed Hajj. He said it was beyond my imagination to see people of different colors, speaking different diverse languages. There are almost more than 7,000 languages in the world. And people from different ethnicities, of different cultures, of different parts of the world, they come together with the same single color of the clothing, that is white clothing. No any just special status given to any person. And all are treated equally there, and all worship one single God. And there's a true concept of unification, because it's not something man-made symbols. As Jews, they put the race as a symbol of unification. But you cannot unify, because all people are not Jews. And then some people, they put it the color. So all people are not wearing the same color. Therefore, with these verses, when we reflect upon these verses, the first part of the Quran, which our Imam recited right now, it teaches us that we are supposed to be bound under one single concept of unification based on Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, based on oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a theoretical foundation, theoretical framework of our unification. And in the last verse, I was just reflecting on, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that among the people is the one that you like his speech, that he seems to be quite knowledgeable about the worldly matters, but he is a quarrelsome. Here, firstly, Allah mentions in the early parts the concept of unification of mankind, and then from mankind to the individual development. So both are important. So we are supposed to focus upon our individual development by connecting our heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at the same time, on these lines, we are supposed to form a society. We are supposed to unify mankind under the same concept, as our hearts are supposed to be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oneness of Allah, Tawheed must be in the hearts. But the manifestation of Tawheed is not just individualistic, it is collective in nature. So starting from our individual journey, culminating at the Ummah concept, ummatic concept. So this is a gist, I should say, that we recited the verses right now. It is a gist that starting from our individual purification of soul to the unification of the Ummah. That's the journey of a Muslim on the surface of the planet. We have here just a couple of decades. Allah knows best. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Amar ummati ma bayna sittina ila sab'in. The average age of my ummah would be between 60 to 70. So this is the average. Okay, there can be exceptional cases 80, 90 or 100 years as well. But after that, we are supposed to live. And what is the task that has been given to us within this shortest time span? That is starting from our individual purification of the heart to the unification of the Ummah. There is a job, is a task of a believer. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us with the tawfiq, to work for our individual purification of the hearts, and at the same time, we work for the unification of the Ummah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So this is all I want to just give the gist of what we have recited right now in our Terawih prayer. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our prayers, all our devotion, all our ibadah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Subhanallah bihamdi. Subhanakallah bihamdi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.